Hi guys, Luis here, estate agent in Central Portugal, today to show you a 5-hectare property, a little bit over than that, with an habitation, which is just right behind me, quite something, quite big, and registered as such, habitation with exemption of license. Electricity, just next to the property, is a connection, bordering a river and a creek passing along the property. We'll find some terraces, some trees, a lot of water, a lot to see. So come along with me, let's check it out. And so this is where we are starting the tour of the video, having the property just in front of us. The house is just there, and all of this side here is part of the property, and it will make like a triangle shape going up and confronting with the road. It's the limit of the property, and we have even the river just there. So this is the river, which cuts a little bit of the property down to the front, because we still have a long distance confronting with this road. It will cut a little bit to the left, so we have a good strip still on this side, and the property goes up the hill, having the house more or less there on the middle, creating quite a scenario, and the view is stunning indeed. So in front of us, this is a road that we used coming from the village Valhelhas, which is the local village, the biggest one, at just 5 kilometers away. It's a 5-minute drive. It's a village where you will find supermarkets, restaurants, the river beach with the big river Zêzere in Portugal, where you can enjoy for our long summer. I'm sure you will. And going this way, we find the village which is called Famalicão da Serra, which is the local parish where this belongs to. Where you'll find not so many as the other way around in Valhelhas, but some local amenities. It has a good cafe there also, even at walking distance. It's a 4-minute drive this way and 5 minutes going to the back. So this is the access road to the property, and you may consider that a car will not pass here, but I even drove my city car here, where I'll show you where it is, and easily can be accessed by any vehicle whatsoever. But this is spring, or early spring at least, and we have this overgrowth, which may seem a little bit overwhelming, but it's not. And this is the bridge crossing this smaller river, which will go to the big river Zêzere, down in Valhelhas. And this is the beauty, which crosses again all the extent of this lower end of the property. Nice place to cool down along the summer, to fish eventually, which it will meet another creek coming from the mountain, which this is the highest mountain in Portugal, Serra da Estrela. All of this, it's very big, and on the middle of that triangle going up, we find that creek going down, which will meet this, and then again this crosses and goes to the river. So this is a public access, of course, to reach different properties, yours or this one being one of them. So let us walk it a little bit. So the property is everything on our right. So the river, always continue on. We will find some terraces in stone on the other end, on the right side of the property. But here, it's always from this access road to the right. It's where we have the property. This is some electricity poles crossing on top of the property, but I don't believe it will disrupt your quality of life for sure. And this is one of the entries, car entries at least. The gate is just there. And as you can see, I brought my normal city car here, okay? But we will walk again from the road. I believe it's easier for you to understand the limits of the property. It's a big one. It's 5 hectares, of course. I'm sure that with the drone footage, you'll have a better sense of what the property is shaped like. This is a nice piece of land, and even on the back of the house, you will understand it, quite private, quite nice. But I received again to the road. So you can understand that for you to go to the house, for example, you will use this, as well as other neighboring lands on top. For example, that house, it's one of the neighbors which uses this access here. I don't think they live here permanently by the looks of the road, but this is just normal grass. Any car can come here. A nice and beautiful tree line just here in the property. So again, the property is on the right of this access road. We will only find a little bit on the left side, which I will explain later on. So we walking this. So this is an access to a neighbor, for example. These are farming lands, mainly used for graze, to put animals to graze, nothing more. And so reaching here, having the house there and our entry just there, to the left we have a piece of land, which is the part alone, which is of the main piece, having this road here, which is accessed again by a couple of neighbors, nothing more than that. Yeah, I assume no one uses it for a while. The small branch just fallen down here. And even here we have public light just there and one next to the house, which I will explain you and show it to you. So this is from this point to the right, it's yours alone, so it's private. We have the river line down there. We enter more or less there and we are walking this way. And we have this upper part, and understand that this is a terrace with stone, which was stone at that point. It's a stone wall, quite nice. So after clearing this overgrowth, all of these walls, stone walls, will be exposed, quite beautiful. And all along the property we will find this. So this is an open field. So guys, ideas, basically this, all of this, it's that piece which is on the left side of this access road, which is fenced just there, and the neighbor uses it every so often to reach his property. On the right, and where you see that big pine, this is already our property, all of this, which is on the back of the house, which is right there. Because the house has kind of two ground floors, having a ground floor because it's higher on this side and another one on the other side. So it's a double-story house that you will use both floors. It has ground floors, one thing. So again, on this side, there's not much to be seen. It's just pasture land, nothing more. Now let us continue on to the house. So again, this is your road with all of this field on the lower part of the house. This just needs to be clear, or having a good neighbor, usually they are called Joaquin, to bring some sheep and graze the land. In regards to water, we will find a well just down here, I'll show you later on, besides the creek and the river. And that's my colleague Philip, he's doing the Portuguese tour, there you go. And now this is reaching the house, on the side of it. We have a last electricity pole just there, even with a light that turns on during night time. And I believe you understand that the connection is quite easy for it to connect the electricity. So here on the side, I assume some structure maybe here, probably some old pigsty, but look at the sheer size of this building, all made in stone, with these steps going up, but everything came down Of course, no maintenance, no use. The structure was in wood, but all the structure, outside walls, yeah, they are to stay. They will outlast us all. Let me see if I can show you the inside. A little bit of overgrowth. So it doesn't end on that wall, it continues on to the other room on that side. So enough height for normal two-story house, quite big. And when exiting the house, this is the view. I don't know about you, but if you like nature, yeah, this is the best you can find. Here on the side, probably some storage. This has only a single story. It's a ground floor, which again it has collapsed along the years in the elements. But all of it in surface, we have 120 meters. And on the first story, a little bit less, because this is just a ground floor. But look at these stones. Amazing, amazing build. Made on those days. We're sheer armed force, nothing more than that. And all of this is yours. Again, to the road, which crosses there, having the river on the lower end. And all of this to the left. We will cross these three lines to the other side, because the three lines is where we will find the creek going down. But still continues on, having some stone terraces, quite beautiful. But now let me go here to explain you where the well is. So I believe you can position yourself. There's my car. And on that right side is the road to reach the property, to reach the house at least. Now, where is it? It's there. So at the moment, water sources, we have this well here, made some years ago. It's made on cement mantle, so it's not one of those old ones in stone. But this gives me a clue. Whenever we find this kind of vegetation, which in Portuguese we call it junco, this means that we have water 365 days of the year. So with an authorization, a permit, I believe a pond could be made here, creating a good scenario around, and it will be quite something. Other than that, for water, you have that creek, which is a seasonal creek, so along the summer months it will dry, but not that one. The main river does continue on all months of the year. And now let us walk that way, because on the back we have that big patio. Remember the big pine that you're going to see? And then let us cruise on to the other side. So stick around, it's 5 hectares, so quite a lot to see. This guy here, he's speaking Portuguese. This tree was cutted because those electricity lines passed just there, okay? So out of security, this was cut, this tree. And here to the left, we have the back of the house, which basically it's a ground floor when turning to the back of the house. Which is here. So regarding accessibility, quite nice. There's even a project for this exact house, which wanting or having interest on it, just ask me and I will send it to you. It's a beautiful project, okay? Having the chilling area here on the back, with full privacy from the road. So all of this field, it's always also part of the property. the darker line, the darker bushes is the limit. And then it continues up from that tree over there. Now let's move on. Now we will walk alongside this smaller creek, which is here. I'm going to use my colleague's passage. And of course you have these amazing, amazing mountain views. Nature all around you, front and back. So this is the limit of the property. Remember the big pine on the back? This is the line, and then it goes up. And that creek is these three lines here, but again the property does continue on to the other side. Let me turn you back again, so we can locate the house, which is just there. Along the property, because of the topology also, you will have different scenarios all around to create different points along the property, depending on what you want to do, of course. Here we find some big trees, some shaded areas. I don't know if you can hear the water running, but it's running. And on that side it even goes to those cork trees just there. It's almost, not very well, but almost a straight line on that side. Of course, this needs to be cleared, but even so, we can easily walk it. I have my wellies, which do help me. Here, for example, we have a little bit of accumulation of water because we have a small pond on this left side of the property. We will walk that way. The creek does cross here, but first let me show you here on the left. Another source of water, which is this. So the property continues on up, but I believe it's easy for us to understand the limits on the right side of the property. And this is of the creek. And this is a big pond which needs to be a little bit clean. But we had a good winter. We still haven't finished. It's overflowing even. That's why my wellies do help me, because some water is going down this access road we used. And now from here, let us cross the creek just here. So I'm already standing on water, okay? And this is the creek. Again, this is a seasonal creek which runs along the winter and late spring. When the summer reaches, it will dry out. And yeah, just cross. So it's very distinctive because you do have the three lines, both right and left. So we are on this side of the creek now, having the road down there and also the creek, the road, the river where the creek will meet. And here on the left, some terraces start. Let me go up this one. In here, left and right, everything belongs to the property. Different kind of trees, of course. And let me lead you till the upper point of the property, and then we will descend next to the river. There's a nice spot down there, which I quite like, that I want to show you. So we are going up now. Yeah, we will pass those pines even. and we are getting some distance from the creek line. The sounds that you hear, basically it's birds singing, nothing more. Chippering, I believe that's the name. While we are going up, I believe you understand that the view starts to get wider. Having that neighbor that I told you, which I don't think they live permanently there, out of the condition of the access road. So probably just some holiday home, something like that. Some big cork trees and pines, they get along, and from here you can't even see the house, which is somewhere in this direction. But all of this is a property going to the creek, a little bit on that side, then it touches the creek, and it's only from the creek this way. Let me get you to this limit on the right at least. Which is probably the thickest stone wall I've seen. It has a meter around that. So this is the limit of the property, and I don't know if you can have the sense of the sheer width of it. And this goes down and turns left to the river. Then it goes a little bit up, because we do have some distance there between the river and the road. Some fruit trees on the other side, quite flat. And all of this. Again, very private. In here, the wall creates a 90-degree square to the right, and this is a square which is also part of the property. So it goes to that corner over there, right and left, and from that left one it goes in a straight line to the creek where the tree lines are. So some trees, not many, but yeah, something for you to consider. What would you do here? A stable horse, for example, could work very well. Plant some trees, of course. Because again, these kind of properties, abandoned as they are so many years ago, so they are not attended, and they mainly are used by neighbors who have some sheep, goats, even cows, which I think cows were not here. And they come and they graze the land, nothing more. Let me go down a little bit next to the creek before we turn left again to show that lower part next to the river, which is quite something, quite beautiful. I already hear the water. Let me see where, because this is overgrown. So the tree lines, not these ones, the lower ones, are the creek. But when I was here earlier, I saw some lower banks on the side of this creek. Amazing, quite private. And I wanted to show to you, was it here? No, still not, because the creek is down there. And on the other side of the river, we also have all of this greener patch is the limit of the property. I thought we had a sunny day today, but unfortunately it's starting to rain. But yeah, all good. We usually say in Portuguese that civilian rain doesn't wet the military man. I'll pass all of this with the drone footage so you can have a better sense, because this is not one of those boring properties where it's a square and from one point you understand all of the limits at all. So you have, in each point of the property you have different corners, different things to see, even topology, of course. Of course, by now you understood that my breathing is a little bit stronger. I've been going up, now I'm going down, and yeah, probably I pass, but the creek passes down there, having the property on both sides of the creek. And now let us cut straight to this field, which all of this is the property, of course. And still part on the left. We came, when we crossed the creek, we used this access here going up. Now we are going down. And here we have several terraces till meeting the river and the creek. It's quite something. Let me shoot you up so you can have a view. You see the white mist is not mist. It started to rain, not heavily. Let's see if I can finish this in a row, in one go. So where you see these greener bushes, this is a terrace in stone, which needs clearing, of course. And then another one cleared. Now imagine these terraces being cleared, okay? The view that it will be. So probably I didn't took the right turn. Let me see if I can go down through here. Yeah, I believe I can. Yeah, I believe through here we can pass. I believe you see the house just there. There you go. And we used that road, we crossed the creek, we went up, and now we are descending. This is a stone wall, one of the terraces. Another one just there, and we are on this upper patio. But let me see, I need to be on the lower one. Here is a passage that we can use, probably made for a tractor to come. Yeah, this was the field that I wanted to be in. This is the one touching the creek. Yeah, so there's the creek, which comes from here, makes a right and left turn, and then it descends along the tree lines to the river. But what I want to show you is here. Again, all of these are stone walls that after cleared, you will have the view of several stone terraces going up. Quite amazing. We even have a lower field on this right side. Someone crossed here already, probably my colleague Philip. Yeah, here there's a little opening. So this is the stone wall, which is not the limit of the property. It does continue on, but this is what we find along the several terraces. But of course, some overgrowth, and this happens. And let me try to explain it from here before trying to go down. So the river crosses there on that line. I believe you can see the water just there. But the road is up there. So those terraces do belong to this property. Ideally, one should cross around. And if the level of the water along the summer a little bit lower, probably you could cross it on that side. But it's still a big piece of land that way. Yeah, I did descend this a month ago, but it was cleared. Let me walk it this way, so I can try to stand next to the river. Yeah, this is the winter. Some trees did come down. So still everything on the right and the left of the image. Yeah, and we are almost reaching the limit of the property. Which is fenced on this side. I believe you see that building there. That's the limit of the property. So here we have the fence having the building on the right side, which is the neighbor's building, and this is almost a straight line till that upper point where we were before. Then we descended around because these have several terraces, and here it turns a little bit to the left and then crosses the river, and then it goes up. From the drone it will be very easy for you to understand. Of course, the tree lines are the limit of the property. And this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. So all in all, 5 hectares with an habitation, which is indeed an habitation already registered as such. So you can, of course, rebuild that building over there. There was a project for this which I can send you, could be an idea if you are interested in talking to a builder, having already something to show him, to give you a quote of what you could spend rebuilding that building over there. All in all, it's an amazing area, guys. We do have this river, and it's not easy to find river properties like this. Having the creek, several different fields, electricity already connected, access to a main road, 5 minutes to 2 big villages, where you can find basically everything that you need for your daily needs. Besides, of course, the river beach, which is amazing, and I did use it a lot when I was younger. Because usually I'm in Castelo Branco, and this is an hour from the city, Castelo Branco. So all in all, some information that you may need that I haven't explained, please do contact me. You'll find my details at the end of the description. See you next time. Bye-bye. Cheers.